Good morning everybody, and welcome to the first session of day 2. We're going to get off to a fantastic start this morning with an in-depth analysis of the best marketing and affiliate strategies in 2022. I welcome our moderator, Bojan Ninkovic, digital lead at Ultimate Fintech, to introduce our speakers. Welcome, Bojan.
Thank you. Good day, everyone, and welcome to the iFX EXPO International 2022 Marketing Panel Session. Let me introduce you to our panelists. On my left, Laoura Salveta, Head of Marketing, BridgerPay.
Good morning.
Accomplished strategy, branding, integrated marketing professional. Previously worked the global circuit, the multiple Forex crypto brokers, as well as brands including Manchester City Football Club, Guinness, Vodafone, Nestle, Adidas, many more. Next to her, next to her is Anita Christophides, Chief Marketing Officer, Admirals. Anita, warm welcome. Anita has experience of over 15 years within the financial services and fintech industry, joining Admirals in the role of Chief Marketing Officer shortly after the company celebrated its 20th anniversary. Worked extensively with leading brokers as well as marketing agencies and fintech startups. Anita enjoys the challenge of maintaining an integrated marketing approach while at the same time delivering consistent quality and achieving the ever increasing demand for growth and expansion. Next, Vivian Mizrahi, please welcome her, Head of Affiliation, FPM.Global. Over 14 years in the Forex industry, 10 specialized in the fintech affiliation field. Vivian has helped brands like AvaTrade and iForex to develop their partnership departments. Today she leads the FPM.Global team, a fintech network that manages 4 different crypto and Forex brands. And last, not the least, Vince de Castro, Chief Marketing Officer, GMI Markets. Vince is the Chief Marketing Officer and is experienced marketing leader with a passion for technology and innovation. He has over 15 years experience in brand strategy and digital marketing, as well as proven track record in leading marketing teams through complex campaigns, funnel optimizations, also increasing the lifetime value of the customer. Over the last few years, Vince has gained extensive knowledge within the financial services and Forex industry. He's a data-driven person who continuously strives to find meaning in the numbers and utilizes business intelligence in all aspects in decision-making process. I hope we are going to have fantastic. This year, we are celebrating 10 years of the iFX EXPO. Since the start, this is the biggest industry event of its kind. This was the same year when the event started, 2012, and that year, I mean, the main thing was the world was amazed by Facebook buying Instagram for $1 billion. And 10 years fast forward, the evaluation of Instagram now is 100 billion over. So that was quite a bargain, I would say. I see that big changes in our global society are also shifting the financial markets. But although the market continues to make the big changes, I think marketing remains with a crucial role. So I would maybe open this discussion and conversation with our panelists with a question that kind of reflects the year behind us. And since we are half into this year, and some maybe most important marketing lessons that they have learned in 2021. And I think the icebreaker for this can be Laoura.
Me?
Yes.
Okay, so I think obviously we had the pandemic, and what did that do to everyone? Everyone got stuck at home, and yes, we all talk about the buzzword of personalization, but I think it's been taken to a whole new level, whereby it's not about us creating customer-centric brands, but it's also about clients know what they want. So if you're not specifically speaking to them where they are, then it's pointless. It's not a case of just throwing up lots of, how can I say, ads online and hoping that somebody will hit and you'll get clients from it. That's not how it works anymore.
Essence.
Essence? Yeah, you really need to show the love, so that's one thing.
Anita?
Yeah, so definitely agree with Laoura. one thing that kind of cemented for me this year was if you're investing in your long-term strategies and SEO and branding initiatives, that's something that can carry you through the rough patches. And even if you want to take a short pause and focus on other channels, you still have that ability to take a little break and get back to it. Also, short videos are here to stay.
How about you, Vivian?
So the affiliation point of view, I think that our challenge has been educating our partners because of all the size restrictions and everything that we can and cannot do. That takes a lot of time. Some partners are good, some partners are not so good. But educating and explaining to them what they can do and what they cannot do online is complicated and yes, time consuming. That's the big challenge.
Personalization, SEO, and education wins. Yes. How about you?
And I would add also content, I think. Today, content is king on the market.
Absolutely.
To have a good content manager is going far.
Thank you.
So for me, I think I have a different approach where I think that one of the big things from last year was on privacy regulations and iOS banning third-party cookies and Google taking form afterwards. And so I think one of the things that showed is that if we rely as marketers on certain platforms, then we're at the mercy of what they decide we have access to and what we don't. So for me, email marketing is still king. The more you can do to get people in your database means you have access to them, you have control of them, you can do what you want. It's less reliant on what Facebook does, what Google does, what any other channel does. So it gives us more access, and then over time we can funnel them, we can segment them, and we can control the narrative a lot more.
If I can help for the audience, so the first party data means that it's being collected directly for the user.
Correct.
And that becomes like a holy grail how to do that, since everything else becomes almost impossible, if I understand.
But now you see that there's trends online that actually you have more people who are likely to actually opt in to themselves, which means that they're already, let's say, how can I say, they're a qualified lead as such. So I think your clients who are opting in are more valuable than they may have been in the past. So
what needs to be provided to them in order to be willing to give this data?
I think you really need to offer value, and whether that be, as you mentioned, content or
education.
Education.
Well, that's fantastic. Well, let's maybe that influence of how the users are becoming willing to give this data and to start engaging with the brands is being done by a whole lot of means and by offering some value. But we also are seeing a rise of brands using third parties or the influencers in that sense of bringing closer the users to them. So I would like to ask you, what is your thoughts about influencer marketing, and is it part of your marketing strategy?
I can start with that.
Yes, please.
So it's very challenging working with influencers today, and the influencers is not we are actually see on Instagram people showing the cars. This is no for our market. We cannot do it. So again, it goes back to the education, like how we are explaining to the influence what they can do. And if he wants to provide the signals or give advice, then he needs to have some kind of qualification and certificate to be able to do this. Very challenging, but when we manage to find the right person, the right influencers that is really giving good examples about the marketing and really telling the truth, they're bringing the best clients for me, at least. I don't know how it's happening to the other company, but long-time clients, they're going to have a long time with us and they're depositing more and they're engaging more.
I think if we consider that 60% of millennials make purchases through being incentivized by an influencer, that's huge. And let's not forget, millennials takes us from 27 years old all the way to up to our early 40s. Some people get that stat a little bit wrong. So that is for FX and crypto, that's our perfect target audience, you know. So if we think about word of mouth word of mouth has always traditionally been the most effective means of communication. That's really trust, and that's what an influencer does, however it's online. But
I'd love to hear also, Anita, if you have...
Yeah, I was just going to add to what Vivian said, that it might not be specifically part of our strategy, but it's something that we do on a case-by-case basis, simply because it's really hard to monitor and to keep track of what people are putting out there, and they're not exposing you or putting your brand at risk. But it does add value, and especially if you go for someone who's very niche and very local, and obviously less cost in that case.
Thank you. Vince, on that, aligning the values of the brand with choosing the right influencer, what do you think? How to do it properly?
It's hard, specifically in Forex. I mean, different industries, obviously, influencer marketing is much more effective, like retail. With Forex, it's tough because the nature of Forex is more than half of the traders lose. So it's hard to get a third-party influencer to say, you know, trade with GMI or trade with Admirals and have the people that are being referred by him lose and come back to him saying you referred them. So we found that we still call it influencer marketing, but more customer testimonials is better. You find a trader who's profitable, get them to give you original content, and they will be your brand advocate.
So the real users as the influencers.
It's much more effective because they're legitimately coming from an original place of I'm profitable, I've changed my life, I'm financially free, whatever, but just a third party.
Does it go then that these users need to kind of put these reviews somewhere which is not under the brand control, the platforms such as Trustpilot, Google Play, these kind of things?
Always. I mean, don't get me wrong, we can utilize it as well, but always if they're putting it on their own accounts, and even if they get incentivized by the broker afterwards, but definitely, if they're going on Trustpilot saying, this broker's amazing, you're going to get a lot more value out of that than us saying we're amazing.
Fantastic. We hear a lot of things in 2021 of the brands being mandated to stand behind some purpose, to find their own purpose and to be recognized that they stand for some things. How does that can be kind of transferred into the industries that you work in? And how important for you is like building the brands and maintaining the purpose of not only the product and the price, but above what the brand stands for? I'm
going to answer that a little bit differently. I think there's a trend now whereby humanization is really important for, I mean, people really value that for brands. So whether that be sustainability or cost in a case. So, and having that kind of transparency for your audience is a huge trigger. So with regards to that and the brand journey, I think that users really want to feel that they're part of your journey, and that's why the brand story is so important to them and feeling connected essentially to the brand.
As adding to a brand preference. And about brand storytelling, telling the story about your brand above your product and your price, which is kind of a table stake hold. You need to have it in order to be in the industry. And there was amazing statistic that skeptics say, yeah, but 68% of all purchases are made based on the price and the product, which kind of moves out of the brand storytelling story. But long term, if you see two brands offering the similar product and price, then the brand storytelling and brand preference will play probably the major role. And that seems like in 40% as a second most important element, what the brand stands for, and specifically from the point of the time that we are coming out of, that it's becoming more and more important for them to really realize, okay, this is it, but what else do I have from this brand?
I believe that what most of the companies, the brokers are struggling still today is to have like omnichannel message, like when you have the same message on all the channels they're using. So I believe that for the brand to stand with the same story, they should start with the first message, should be also the second message, the third message. if the person is looking for the CFD, they need to understand that after they're going to get a push-up notification also about CFD, and they're going to get an offer to deposit with a promotion, we cannot use promotion, but some offers for CFD. So it's very important for the brand to stick to the message so the clients don't get confused. Where I am, where did I get, or no, this is not what I was looking for, like why I'm getting an email about this.
Yeah, I think one of the things that a lot of companies misunderstand is that brand is not about, your founder's origin or where your company started from. That's not brand. That's your company's story, but that's not the brand story. It's about connecting with the customer. It's their journey. It's what they resonate with. And if they can connect with your brand and say, you guys are offering what we're looking for, then they're going to be more willing to do business with you. And I think, like, say, for example, like Airbnb, they did a great job branding where they created experiences. It's not just about renting a room for the night. It's about you use us to have an experience in your life. That's a brand telling a story that resonates with their customers. And that's what we all are looking to achieve.
Fantastic. How to get it closer to our financial markets and the brands that are within this category.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think it's a challenge in this industry. Not to make a generalization, but I think very few companies have successfully done like a really strong brand with a nice storytelling effort behind it. It's very difficult. We compete on all the same levels. It's very hard to stand out, and you need to stand out. Otherwise, what's the point? But brand goes beyond just attracting the client. It goes, it unites the company as well. It gives everyone a purpose to what they're doing and an understanding of who they're working for and what the values are. Admirals has gone carbon neutral since 2020, and we're also pushing that forward with other initiatives. So it's not a small project.
Absolutely. On that, is exactly then the understanding your brand values and what are the values that brand stands for are the basics for building this brand story?
Absolutely. First off, if the company itself, if the people working for the company don't understand the brand's values, which happens a lot, you have no chance. But yeah, if you can effectively communicate that outward, then you're in a much better place. But if your customer doesn't know who you are, what you stand for, then you've got no shot, for sure.
I think as you said, for sure, it all starts from the core, and that is everything from how your employees are communicating about the brand online through their social channels, all the way to every single email notification, in-platform message.
Do you think that that's the field where then is possible to differentiate yourself from the competitor peers? Exactly in those fields, standing up for certain values and building the story upon them.
I just believe the companies are changing their strategies so often because of the changes on the market. It's very difficult to create an identity that the clients can rely to. I think it's better to invest on the customer centricity, like she was saying before, so the client can rely on the loyalty, and that he's being recognized by the company, so they stay longer, and not because what the company represents, but for what the support is getting, the help he's getting, not about the image today, because of the changes we're having yearly in the industry.
Sorry, I know I'm talking too much, but I think it's about obviously being customer-centric, but with marketing we can be very data-centric also. So let's say we have many tools now with AI, and we can really drill down and segment who we are speaking to and what we are really communicating and how we're doing that to offer value.
That's fantastic. And the automatations are sometimes provoking that what Vivian just described, like pushing the same message in many channels. That could be, if it was the wrong trigger, then it becomes really fast, intrusive in that sense. If I didn't want at all, maybe I was just in a way. So how to kind of maintain the right amount of communication towards the user and recognize when does it go too much?
I think that's up to the user. I think the user should choose the
Opt in or
channel.
opt out?
The user should choose the channel, and he should, like on the leads registration form, the client, you have to have a place saying like, where is the best place to communicate with you? How do you want us to speak to you? And he needs to be comfortable where he are and where he want to be, and not getting boomed by SMS and email, or if he doesn't want to.
Anita?
Also, I mean, because a lot of clients will actually not go back to change their settings, it's good to monitor what your open rate is for your emails and see what reactions you're getting from push notifications. It's sometimes better to send an email to a smaller segment rather than to everybody, because you'll get a relevant audience for that message.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, I completely agree. It's you know, we use the word funnels all the time, but yeah, it's having very specific segments of people that want a certain piece of content. So you're not just blasting your entire database with, you know, come and open an account or whatever. It's like, if you're a gold trader, I want an email about what's happening in gold today. That's the kind of content you want to send someone, because you know they're interested in it. You know, and so that way they're asking you for the kinds of content, and their behavior gets the kind of content that they want. That's how you make sure that they're going to interact with it.
I believe this is also the way how you are kind of maintaining not to be too aggressive towards the users. And on that, since from the years, there were many aggressive strategies of just, you know, like drilling through markets, getting the users, and trying to kind of from the mass a base pick and get to the specific leads that will then convert. I think that has changed in a way that brands are becoming more sophisticated in how they approach all of the users and trying to segment them. This segmentation is, in a way, a thing which is quite important, that I would like to hear your thoughts on segmenting clients and how do you approach differently towards those segments. Laura?
I can go first if you want. Well, obviously, there's a lot of really cool tools out there now that allow you to do different sort of segmenting. You know, you've got the HubSpots and the CRMs that allow you to create funnels, and then there's also tools like Optimove, which we used previously, where that helps you on the churn side. So not just on acquiring traders, but then if you have a trader that's currently trading, what happens when they stop trading? So if their last trade was 7 days ago, they should be getting an email to try to bring them back, or a push notification, or an SMS. So it's setting up triggers that allow you to keep track of what people are doing. If someone opens an account, they've passed their KYC, but they haven't deposited, when is the right time to send them that message to get them to make a deposit? Is it, you know, so it's constant data aggregation in the marketing team and figuring out what's the sweet spot. And for everybody, it's different, but that's segmenting.
On top of that, after the data, I believe that it's very important to know the client, not just by the documents, but like what he likes to do, what he does not like to do. After you do the segmentation by amount of trades, amount of deposit, how long the client is trading, then you need to make a survey to understand the satisfaction and what he's doing in his daily base. Where he's going to check his information. You need to understand, so you also can give the right value for the segment and the persona you're working with. If you understand, then you're going to put your money in the right place.
So I'm with BridgerPay. So for us, it's all about literally tracking every single move that a customer or a client is doing. And really, when you understand that, and that could be every click within your website, your platform, etc. And once you know every click, then it tells the whole story of the behavior. And that's when you can put a notification, put an email, any kind of trigger to respond to that movement.
Right message in the right moment for the right audience.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sounds good. Okay, with this, I would maybe go to our question regarding, since I would definitely leave some time for the audience, if hopefully they will have some questions for you guys. Let's see something up front. What's coming? We can speak about some buzzwords here. We are missing some of the speakers to help us, such as NFT, Metaverse. What's going to happen in a time in front of us? And be free to kind of allow the audience to envision what is your vision for the future. Vince, break the ice.
Well, I wouldn't necessarily say about my vision of what's to come, but I mean, specifically with Forex, you mentioned NFTs. So with Forex, I see that there will be a challenge. I know the NFTs was part of the agenda, so I figured I'd just address it, but I don't see it being something that in the Forex industry can be addressed right away, but I do see NFTs being a very cool marketing tool for a lot of other industries, including something, for example, like an expo. Like, why couldn't the ticket to an expo be an NFT that you always have, that you could resell in the future, or you could transfer? So theoretically, next year, iFX EXPO could be an NFT when you purchase it.
Let's stay on NFTs since you opened that discussion, and how marketers can use them. So if you can maybe add anything else on that topic, how to use maybe at this moment NFTs.
Well, I'll give you one example, which I'm sure some people might know. There's a huge internet marketer, Gary Vaynerchuk. So he's published tons of books. He's huge into the NFT space. So he wrote a new book recently. It's not even out yet. It's called 12 and a Half. And so his thought was, within a 24-hour window when you need to get your book as a bestseller, as a pre-order, he said, anybody that buys 12 books, I'll give you an NFT on the Ethereum blockchain as a token that you'll always own, and you could resell or you could do whatever you want if it blows up in the future. But you have to buy 12 of my books in this 24-hour span. So he sold over 1 million books in 24 hours. Bestseller, had to push back his book sales because they couldn't meet the demand. So that is a really cool marketing tool of an NFT, which you have no idea what it even is going to be. You don't know if it's going to be valuable or not.
And you still don't know how to monetize well from
Exactly.
it, besides the marketplace that some brokers open it already.
Correct.
We're still trying to understand how we can get money from this. Like, what is the marketing side? For sure, people are using, some brokers, I saw some ads in Facebook, they're using Metaverse and NFT just to create this image of like advanced broker with amazing technology, but they're actually not doing something with this yet. That's the challenge for the next year.
If you look at, there's a lot of games now which are play to earn games. I mean, that essentially is our space. So NFTs are characters in these games, whereby if I buy an NFT character, then Anita wants to use it, she has to pay me royalties. So, I mean, there's huge value in that, and that all goes down to cryptocurrency. A lot of brokers now are also having crypto. It's the natural evolution of our industry.
Crypto games. Yeah, it's 25 years since Nokia 6110 made the first arcade snake. Yeah, I saw recently an NFT snake game. So some of the classics of these games are getting back into the new metaverse. So this is fantastic. But Anita, you wanted about NFTs using?
It was for NFTs. I was just going to say that for us at this moment, I would see it as a marketing campaign, but I wouldn't go into monetizing at this point.
Okay. Let's go back to the predictions, Vince.
Oh. Well, look, the standard predictions is that, video is definitely the #1 consuming piece of content, so it's the more emphasis that we can get on making customized videos in all the different channels is better. But one of the things that is not really a prediction, but is something that, for fellow marketers out there, that I think, for me, copywriting is the skill that I can find the least when I'm looking for people to hire. And I think that anybody that wants to get into marketing, whether it's freelancing or whether it's full-time, copywriting for me is the skill that is the most blatantly lacking. And if it's done right, is the most effective use of marketing. So that's for me is #1, just in terms of focus.
Thank you. Vivian.
As I said, the education for me is people need to invest, and after do the segmentation, they need to understand and connect all the departments in the company with a very good Scrum Master. You need to have like a person that is just a scrum master connecting the marketing and the sales. So after you have the segmentation, you can pass the right information to the client you're talking to and give the education to the clients, and in my case, to the partners too, so they can bring educated clients to the broker.
Thank you. Anita, please.
I would say more automations and machine learning for next year. It would definitely free up everybody's hands and give more room for creativity and more strategic planning rather than doing all the manual work.
Thank you. Laura, please, your thoughts.
I would say two things. Metaverse, Web 3.0, there's demand if you do and there's demand if you don't. So definitely something to be considered. I would also say that we have to remember that our clients expect that we're going to give them personalized content. However, we should be predicting what their steps are going to be next, and that's where we should be.
Okay, on that. So video is the king, provide education, automation, and personalized approach. That leaves us with just a few more minutes for you guys to ask the questions. And if I can get help to provide the microphone, here you go. Go ahead.
Can you hear me? Yeah.
Yes.
Thanks a lot for the panel. It was really interesting. So I actually have two questions. I think our panelists can answer them pretty quick. So the first question was going back to the influencer topic. So if you can maybe share your practical experience on what were your ways, effective ways to source influencers. So maybe it was like social influencer platforms, or it was like, handpicking with the help of Salesforce, or maybe other ways that you used. And the second question was actually about Metaverse, as Laura mentioned. So just in a few words, kind of what's your view? Do you think like our industry shall move there? And what are your thoughts on Metaverse? Thank you.
I can go with the influencers.
Yes, please.
The influencers are the same space that the other influencers are. That's where we go for Instagram and Telegram, whatever. But the challenge is to make them change everything they're doing already. So we find them, we show them that they need to change. If they want to make money in this market, they need to change everything they know and what they're doing. So it's teaching. It's teaching and starting a new funnel, new page, it's mandatory. You're not going, if you find an influence that is doing what he should do, for sure he's working with some broker and he's not going to change the funnel because everything is set and organized for this.
Regarding, can I take the Metaverse question? Sorry, I'm very excited about this topic. So with regards to the Metaverse, if we think about the statistic of Roblox has over 49 million users per day, which is bigger than Poland, okay? Obviously, there's money to be made from it. What I would say with regards to brokers, payment providers, anyone else within our industry, it's about user-generated content and the monetization of everyone becoming an entrepreneur and just finding the way with that.
Would anybody else like to answer on this question?
I can jump in.
Yes.
So for influencers, I would also look at your client database. Many times there are people who are already trading with you or investing, and they're already out in social media. So it's a good place to start.
That's fantastic. Do we have any other questions maybe for the audience? Yes, please.
Hi there. Just going back on the Metaverse, do you think buying landscape on the Metaverse is a good investment for companies that maybe they can rent out in the future?
I think if we're taking away Forex and we're just talking about an investment in the Metaverse, I think, look, at some point somebody's going to make that run and it's going to be explosive and they're going to make a ton of money. But it's a matter of finding the right horse to back, whether you're backing Sandbox or Decentraland or another one that comes out that is even more advanced than that. Someone will figure it out and do the right integration where people just catch on and it's going to run. But just like with NFTs, there's the guys that bought CryptoPunks, and then there's the guys that bought almost everything else and lost everything, like the guy that bought the first Twitter NFT. So you really have to be careful when you're talking about technology at the very beginning. It's hard to figure out which one's the horse to back. So it's tough.
And also, your clients are going to be the early adopters who decided to try the Metaverse, so you have a very small niche to go. It's a lot of investment. Maybe in 2023, next year, we can discuss, maybe we'll have more tools about the Metaverse and how we can use it and how we can, go in there.
Laura, did you
I don't know if I agree. I don't know if I agree. I mean, there's obviously over 18-year-olds who are potential clients for this industry, and they're actively gaming. They're spending 15 to 20 euros per day or more on credit cards. So they're there, you know.
Buying skins and that.
Buying skins, yeah, to make you fly.
Are there any other questions from the audience? Yes, please.
As an affiliate, let's say you have affiliate sites, and a lot of brokers do customized landing pages and so on, but mostly all of the brokers have missed one important thing, and that's conversion rate optimization. So you have a long landing page, and then at the bottom you might have a sign-up form. And most of the time it's even a load more or read more or go on. And this is something that, is any one of you actually trying to change this so you're better at this? Because there's no landing pages where there's a sign-up form at the top, and all of the branding is kind of all over the place. And is there any way that you guys are actually trying to do something better here?
I can take this. So, totally agree with you. But the affiliates, they know better what is converting for their traffic. You should come to the broker and say, this is not working for me. I'm sure the broker is going to send the studio to change, cut, and give what you want. No? So you're not working with the right broker. Let's discuss later. So, A/B testing, and you need to put to your affiliate on the affiliate platform many options. The affiliate needs to test what is working better for his clients. He knows better than the broker, but the broker should help with the studio and change and do what the affiliate is doing.
Marketing 101, 100%.
Sign up if it's first for what? So some value needs to be over there and some offering besides understanding whether or not I would or not like to sign up for that. I guess that's why, but bringing it, hiding it, definitely not a good thing. That's for sure. Do we have any other question? Yes, please.
Hi there, yes. I'd welcome anyone's view on this, but yeah, so I'm in affiliate marketing with Forex brands. And I just wanted to dive a bit deeper onto the third-party cookie issue, and just reading about device fingerprints and how that could potentially mimic the functionality of third-party cookies using JavaScript code. Do you have any views on this, or what are your views going forward? I mean, for example, we produce customized content to deliver traffic using affiliate links. How are things going to move forward from this point, do you think? How do you think brokers will adjust? Because obviously you've got thousands of affiliates globally, worldwide. How do you see FX brokers adjusting their strategy to maintain the continuation of working with affiliates?
So that's a good question. I think first off, it's a matter of, so we know the third-party cookies are going away. So I think for the brokers that really want to take a hold of it, we need to start being not so reliant on third-party softwares and try to integrate our own softwares with first-party cookies. Because if we can do that, then we can provide that ability to affiliates. It's not an easy thing, and it's not something that a lot of Forex brokers have the technology departments to do, so including the one I work for now, it's discussions. But this is where we need to know, because by next year, Chrome goes away, and then we got real problems. And not only just for affiliates, but for just marketing tracking in general, to know what's the first touch, who was the first introducer. So I think that's the first one. And then obviously, you know, beyond that, it's a matter of do we start to explore different technologies? Like besides cookies, are we looking at maybe sessions where if we have affiliates using UTMs with an ID, can the session store into the CRM at that point and not be using a cookie? It's something I've talked about as well with the IT department, but it's a challenge and it's something that needs to be addressed in the next 12 months for sure.
Yeah, because obviously assuming FX companies are still heavily relying on affiliates for traffic. So
for sure.
So in your view, it's a top priority discussion. Yeah.
Well, if it's not a top priority, then they're going to have problems in a year, for sure.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. I believe we are out of time for any other questions, so I thank you a lot for being present on today's panel, and thanks a lot to our wonderful panelists.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.